Ahlan wa sahlan, kif halkum? This is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? So, a couple of you have asked whether I would be willing to read a part of the Qur'an, and I already owned a copy with an English translation, so I said to myself, yeah, let's give that a go. And I sat reading it because I'm not Muslim, I'm not even Christian, but I have this beautiful book, very kind gift from a Muslim gentleman that I met. This very beautiful version of the Qur'an as well, and I've had it for years. The story is that I went into a Muslim shop to try and find some books to help me learn Arabic, and I left with this, and I've had it for a long time now. I really wanted today to read you the Quran in Arabic, but I had to go earlier on and I find it very difficult. So I thought, why not read it to you in English, because some of you probably have never even heard an English version of this. So I read through and I found some that I really want to read with you today. So I'm going to do that. And I'd love you to drop me a comment. If you enjoyed the video, then click like. And if you really enjoyed this and you want more, then please do let me know. I haven't done this video previously because I wanted so badly to do it justice. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. Drop me a comment and let me know if you did indeed enjoy it. So I looked at some in the beginning of the Qur'an, and they were quite long, and I thought for a short video it would be better to have some shorter ones, and I found them towards the end of the Qur'an. So I'm looking at the Surat al-Adiyat, those that run. So I'm going to read this in English for you, and then we're going to have a look at some of the others that follow. So in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, by the steeds that run with panting, striking sparks of fire by their hooves, and scouring to the raid at dawn, and raise the dusting clouds the while, and penetrating forthwith as one into the midst of the foe. Verily, man, disbeliever, is ungrateful to his Lord, and to that he bears witness by his deeds, and verily he is violent in the love of wealth. Knows he not that when the contents of the graves are poured forth, all mankind is resurrected, and that which is in the breasts of men is made known? Verily, that day, the day of resurrection, their Lord will be well acquainted with them as to their deeds, and will reward them for their deeds. I took away that the violence, so he is violent in the love of wealth. I think that says a lot about people in the world nowadays and their sort of lust for money and power. Okay, Surat al-Qari'ah, the striking hour. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. The Qari'ah, the striking hour, the day of resurrection. What is the striking hour? And what will make you know what the striking hour is? It is a day whereon mankind will be like moths scattered about, and the mountains will be like carded wool. Then, as for him whose balance of the good deeds will be heavy, he will live a pleasant life in paradise. But as for him whose balance of good deeds will be light, he will have his home in Hawiyah, the pit or hell. And what will make you know what it is? It is a fiercely blazing fire. So in that surah, I like the fact that it talks about the encouragement to do lots of good. So you'll be heavy with the amount of good things you've done, and it says a balance. So compared to the bad things you've done lots of good deeds, and you will have a pleasant life. But if your balance is poor, in other words, if you have a light amount of good deeds that you've done, and therefore a heavy amount of poor deeds, bad deeds, then you will go to hell. Okay, this is Surat At-Takathur, the piling up, the emulous desire. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. The mutual rivalry for piling up of worldly things diverts you, until you visit the graves, till you die. Nay, you shall come to know. Again, nay, you shall come to know. Nay, if you knew with a sure knowledge the end result of piling up, you would not have been occupied yourselves in worldly things. Verily, you shall see the blazing fire, hell. And again, you shall see it with the certainty of sight. Then on that day you shall be asked about the delights you indulged in this world. I really take a lot from that surah, because it talks about people's lust for possessions, the piling up of worldly things, the fact that we have in our homes so many items, so much nonsense that we don't need. So it's sort of calling out capitalism in a way, and the whole concept of advertising and selling you things that you don't want or don't need. It says the end result of piling up, you would not have been occupied yourselves in worldly things. So it means it comes to nothing at the end of the day. How you treat people is far more important than what things you've bought in your life. Okay, next is Surat Al-Asr. Is it Al-Asr? Yeah, Al-Asr. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. By Al-Asr, the time. Verily, man is in loss. Except those who believe in Islamic monotheism and do righteous good deeds and recommend one another to the truth. In other words, order one another to perform all kinds of good deeds, al-ma'ruf, which Allah has ordained, and abstain from all kinds of sins and evil deeds, al-munkar, which Allah has forbidden, and recommend one another to patience for the sufferings, harms, and injuries which one may encounter in Allah's cause, doing preaching His religion of Islamic monotheism or jihad. I like the fact that it talks about patience, because people, they just want to have instant results. And it talks about, how I do truly believe that people who have had suffering and had negative things happen to them do come out as kinder, more generous, nicer people. Most of the people that I know in the world who are the most loving and kind and generous have all had something terrible happen to them. I think that it makes you a stronger person and makes you appreciate other people and things in a greater way. Surat al-Humaza, the Slanderer. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, woe to every slanderer and backbiter, who has gathered wealth and counted it. He thinks that his wealth will make him last forever. Nay, verily he will be thrown into the crushing fire. And what will make you know what the crushing fire is? The fire of Allah kindled, which leaps up over the hearts. Verily, it shall be closed upon them in pillars stretched forth. In other words, they will be punished in the fire with pillars. That one, again, is talking about gathered wealth, people counting their money, but also to people who talk badly about other people and are mean behind their backs. I have a Muslim friend, a very dear friend, and he never says anything horrible about any other person, and I think that is incredibly difficult sometimes, not to just sit and criticize someone else. I think it's an amazing trait that he has, which I don't doubt he's learned from being a Muslim. Okay, and read these last three before we finish. The Surat al-Fil, the elephant. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Have you, O Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, not seen how your Lord dealt with the owners of the elephant army which came from Yemen under the command of Abraha al-Ashram, intending to destroy the Kaaba at Mecca? Did he not make their plot go astray, and he sent against them birds in flocks, striking them with stones of sijil or baked clay, and he made them like an empty field of stalks, of which the corn has been eaten up by cattle. I think that one just shows the power of nature and the power of Allah. Surat Quraysh, the Quraysh. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. It is a great grace and protection from Allah for the taming of the Quraysh, and with all those Allah's grace and protections for their taming, we cause the Quraysh caravans to set forth safe in winter to the south, and in summer to the north without any fear. So let them worship Allah, the Lord of this house, the Kaaba in Mecca, He who has fed them against hunger and has made them safe from fear. Yeah, just talking about protecting other people and caring for them during long journeys. Okay, last one. Surat al-Ma'un. Al-Ma'un. The small kindnesses. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Have you seen him who denies the recompense? That is he who repulses the orphan harshly, and urges not on the feeding of al-miskin, the poor. So, woe unto those performers of salat, prayers, or hypocrites, those who delay their salat, their prayer, from their stated fixed times, those who do good deeds only to be seen of men, and prevent al-ma'un, the small kindnesses like salt, sugar and water. I think that was one of my favourites, the fact that people saying they do something just to receive praise, just to be seen and recognised, without actually doing it for the right reason, to actually be kind to other people, not to just be noticed, and also to do kind things for other people. think is truly important and something that I have personally been brought up to believe is important. I think that's one of my major takeaways from Islam and the Muslim faith about generosity and kindness towards people that you don't even know, and having a charitable nature. I just love that aspect of the religion. Okay. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, do give it a like for it to spread to a larger audience that might also enjoy it and benefit from its ability to help you relax and maybe even fall asleep. Thank you so much for watching this video, particularly if you made it this far. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and please drop me a comment telling me whether you enjoyed the video and whether you would like me to do more in the future, as I was a bit nervous of doing this in the first place, so I hope that you did